Hello guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to another video and welcome to Quarantine Podcast number 5, and today's topic of discussion is going to be all about the wilderness. So mostly to talk about old school in this, but I will be mentioning some parts of the wilderness from the past. So lots of stuff to get through. We've got all the PKing side of it, got the skilling side of it, and then we've sort of got the wilderness in general. So without further ado, we'll start. The wilderness is probably what some people know RuneScape by. Sort of, they might hear that word in real life and then they might think of, well, to be fair, I do, they might think of RuneScape. So yeah, lots to sort of get through on this podcast and to debate about. So the wilderness in general in RuneScape, what have I used it for? Mainly on old school for rune rocks. Yes, there's a few different spots around the wilderness, and I guess it kind of goes a lot of things with the wilderness go hand in hand. It's very kind of high risk, high reward. A lot of things, the bosses, the skilling, the rune rocks, and yeah, they're the perfect example of that. So you've got a few spots. There's the lava maze ones, ice plateau, and then there's a spot beneath the lava maze I didn't even know about. There's like one rock there, and I actually went there for a bit sometimes, but yeah, it's pretty much pointless. You're not going to make too much money going there. Now you probably get PK'd too. So yeah, they've always been a PKing hotspot, rune rocks, because you know, if you kill someone who's been mining, chances are you're going to get probably 14 or 15 rune ore, depending on how long they've been there. So it's going to sort of be a guaranteed 15, 20 ores every time, so like 200k, and then you can put those in a looting bag, and you can probably make a decent amount of money if you do it efficiently and don't die. Same goes the other way though. With mining rune ore, you could easily make sort of 700 to 800k an hour, I reckon, if you did it efficiently and got some decent luck with how long it took you to mine. And the spots don't tend to be too busy, as I think people are wary of the fact you can get PK'd. I think it's better to go on a lower level account, and sort of, you know, lower level as in like 10 or 20, as it's a bit less likely that you'll run into someone who's going to kill you sort of instantly. I think when you're high level, if you get attacked by anyone over sort of 100 combat, you're unlikely to be able to get to KBD. If you haven't got any food, that is, anyway. But KBD can be a good lure too. I've seen a few videos of people getting attacked and then leading their PKer to KBD, which is just southwest, and then KBD killing the PKer, which is quite funny. What else with the RuneScape or with wilderness? Revenants, yes, revenants back in the days. Obviously, revenants right now in old school, but I remember I used to be afraid of like revenants. Like, they made the wilderness where you can kill each other, and then they added like revenant orcs and stuff like that. They've added that into old school too right now, and that always used to terrify me a little bit. Bounty Hunter and the Wilderness Volcano. So you can sort of see in the background on this display, like the Wilderness Volcano and what it used to be. It used to be a safe area, I think, and you'd enter it for Bounty Hunter. So that was a big part of the update in 2007, I think, which kind of shifted everything around in the wilderness. Of course, it's mainly for PKing. So you're probably not surprised to hear that I don't do too much of that, and I did try a bit of it on free to play, but I've never really been any good. It's just something I need to put some time away to learn, but I'd rather do PVM and skilling, to be fair, than PKing. It's easy to earn a lot of money with PKing, but it's also easy to lose a lot of money too. Teleport restrictions. This has always been quite a good part of the wilderness. So if you're over 20 level 20 in the wilderness, so you can't use any teleports other than like the Slayering, Glory, and a couple of others. Once you're over 30, you can't use any teleports at all, other than the ones that are located within the wilderness themselves, like the portals and Edgeville lever. So yeah, it's a good idea, I guess, because it kind of stops people, I guess, escaping, and it does sort of drag more PKs up to those higher levels where some of, you know, the best bosses and the best skilling methods are. So like I said before, high risk, high reward. Higher levels in the wilderness, no chance of telling out, but you can also make more money that way. Looting in the wilderness. I did do a bit of it, I remember, when VH first came out, I think, just wandering around. It's a good thing to do on a low level, I think, is you can just make sort of quick, easy money if you need to sort of get yourself started, but of course looting's not really worth it in the long run, although you do get to watch some pretty good fights along the way. Team capes, a bunch of sellers around the wilderness who all sell different team capes. There's a few specific ones that I liked. I think it's the one of the yellow ones, and then one of like the red and sort of red, a couple of shades of red in one of them. I can't remember exactly which one, but I'll always know the wilderness by team capes. Luring. So a bit of trivia for you here. A ditch was added on April the 18th, 2007, the ditch that we know today, and that was to prevent players getting accidentally killed, tricked, and lured into the wilderness through tree luring. So people obviously still get lured today, but the ditch that's the main reason why the ditch is there. I didn't know that. A bit more trivia for you. The Wilderness was introduced into the game on the 13th of August 2001. So yeah, it was famous as it was the only place where players could engage in PvP combat, and they gained all items that the player they defeated dropped. And then of course PvP worlds and other forms of PvP have come out since, but yes, 13th of August 2001. Yes, so currently players passing the ditch, they're presented with a screen confirming that they actually want to enter the Wilderness. So you might remember that first time you enter the Wilderness on your account, and yeah, you can toggle that at the Doomsayer in Lumbridge. Wilderness in old school RuneScape mainly then. There was a big Wilderness rejuvenation update shortly after the game came out in 2013, so it introduced a lot of bosses and a few skilling areas too. So bosses like Scorpia, Chaos Fanatic, Crazy Archaeologist, Vetion, Callisto, Venenatis, the Chaos Elemental, King Black Dragon. So all good bosses, I think. Some more worth killing than others, but all different in a way. Like Scorpia. Scorpia is quite different to the Chaos Fanatic and Chaos. Crazy Archaeologist, obviously you got the mechanics of Vetion, Callisto and Venenatis, and then the Chaos Ellie. KBD's not actually in the Wilderness, but you have to travel through level 40 odd to get there, so I guess it does kind of count. The Revenant Cane's quite a big update that came a while ago. Slayer Master, Wilderness Slayer, you can talk to Cristilia, and it's good money because you get Laren's keys, which can open the chest. It's another pirate's hideout, very high level wildy, and that gives you decent rewards. So yeah, Wilderness Slayer, a decent piece of content there. The God Wars Cave, popular place for doing either Slayer assignments or PKing in general. Wilderness Achievement Diaries, another update I really liked. It gives you some decent rewards too, like the one to change the locations of the portals whenever you want was really good. Skilling, and loads of areas for skilling in the Wilderness, some that I didn't even know before doing a bit of research before this video. The Resource Arena, I did do a video on that, was one of my very early ones back in 2014 or 15, one of those days. The Chaos Temple Altar, really good for training prayer, but dangerous as well. Again, high risk, high reward. The Hunter area, Black Salamanders, that's where I ground my 70 Hunter for some of the elves. Dark Crab Fishing, also in the resource area. The Rogue's Chests for thieving, right in Deep Wildy, and the Agility course as well, which is decent XP. And again, pretty much no risk because you don't really have to wear anything, so killing is pretty much worthless. There's the dropping items timer, I think, as well. So I think you drop an item and then it'll appear straight away if it's valuable to other people, so it stops people when they're about to be killed dropping items or something like that. Same with like chin chompers in that hunter area. You can't release your chins if you're in combat. I think it's like what people used to do. So yeah, a lot of content on old school to do in the Wilderness, but I still feel on the whole the Wilderness is quite dead. Obviously doing a lot of clue scrolls there, you don't tend to see that many PKs around. Obviously you've got to know where to look and know where the PKs are, but I don't think the Wilderness is still that active, to be honest. I think perhaps Jagex are trying to sort of draw PVMers into the Wilderness and maybe give PKs sort of a bit more to do, but I don't think there's perhaps enough updates scheduled towards PKing specifically. Like, there's a lot of controversy with the recent Bounty Hunter update, though I've been watching quite a lot of it on Twitch and it's been really good to watch. Like the Vestas Longsword looks like sick to PK with, so a fair play to them on that. And yeah, other parts of the Wilderness, so like Edgefield Dungeon, I didn't know that was part of the Wilderness until old school when I entered. For some reason, it's quite cool. There's a few things you can do in there, like charging orbs. The Abyss, I haven't mentioned that yet. Abyssal rune crafting, something very different, and it's what I did, I think, for most of my rune crafting so far. It's not the skill that I'm ever looking forward to having to train again, but it looks like I will be. And the Wilderness, I still kind of find it a bit intimidating sometimes to go into, because I'm such a panicker when somebody attacks me. I don't really know how to tank hits. I don't, because I haven't sort of PK'd in any decent gear before, so I just kind of focus on running away and I usually die. So I never tend to risk much when I'm in the Wilderness, but perhaps I could try and get better at that. So I guess it kind of does its job there, but a lot of people I see, I guess if your experience is different, but you can go into the Wilderness with whatever risk you want and sort of back yourself not to be killed as long as you don't get lured into any multi-areas. And yeah, could it be a bit more active? I think so, but I think over time they've done quite well with it. There's been a lot of very good updates in old school, particularly all the skilling areas, the achievement diaries, the Wilderness Slayer, and the amount of different bosses that they've added too. So yeah, I think on the whole, Jagex have done quite a good job with the Wilderness, and they haven't taken away PKing, which is what obviously happened in the main game. So yeah, I think it's in safe hands at the moment. That concludes this discussion on the wilderness then. So yeah, we covered at the start the main sort of parts of the wilderness that I remember really well from old RuneScape, and just sort of anything that kind of triggers the wilderness as a memory in my head. So things like Rune Rocks, Revenants, Bounty Hunter Wilderness, Volcano, teleport restrictions and looting. And then we had a look at the wilderness in old school RuneScape, all the content that there is, so all the skilling stuff, all the bosses, the Rev Caves, Godboard's Dungeon, achievement diaries, and other things like the dropping items timer. And then just a brief discussion on how scary the wilderness is and whether it will be as active as before. So yeah, thank you very much for listening or watching this one, whatever you did. Hopefully the graphics on screen helped make this a bit better for watching if you did that. Next week's podcast will be out at the same time. Yet to choose my topic yet, but I will do, and I'll do some research, and I will record it towards the end of the week. So yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video, which will be out on Wednesday.